If you knew what your true yes was and what your true no was in all areas of your life, would you be able to choose faster and easier? What futures would those choices create? Everyone is capable of connecting to their bodies in a way to have more exuberant and joyful living now and in the future. Now, here is your host of Choosing a Different Future with Siris.
Hi, I'm Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo here with you on Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And our show's topic today is awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. We finally made it. We're here. This is the episode that we had to reschedule. This is our third attempt to try to have it. And so thank you for your patience in us talking about it. We're going to get into it. If you're new to our show and you're new to me, I am a life coach that specializes in people connecting with their bodies, partnering with their bodies so that they can communicate and express themselves their own unique way so that they can create whatever they would like as their lives, hopefully a life that lights them up, that has more of them in it. And this comes from my experiences as a speech language pathologist, learning behavioral specialist, feeding therapist, and therapeutic energy worker. And you'd think that those things would be very separate, but they're actually something that can contribute to each other, and they all have a lot of overlap. And that's part of what we're going to get into today as well. Just wait a couple moments because I want to make sure that you have some of the upcoming dates. We have some new events coming up. So in case you would like to meet up in person or online and I get to see my face and I get to see your face and maybe we get to get some hugs. We have some new events that are cropping up, and there are new other ones that are coming up as well. So I'm going to keep you posted on those as they develop. But we're going to have a in-person awakening class. So this is not going to be available live streamed, just in person in Dublin, Ohio, which is right by Columbus, Ohio, on Saturday, August 19th. So in a couple of weeks. And we're going to have a meet and greet that's going to be available to everybody right beforehand on Friday, August 18th at a local venue over there. But the space that we're going to have the class in is at Jessica Bentley's Skin Spa. It's this amazing, nurturing place. We're only going to have 10 people in the class, very intimate group. And you might have seen my video on it on Facebook. If not, go ahead and check out my Facebook page and explore that. We got to show people the space. You can perceive some of the energy of how that beautiful room can contribute to you. And then we're thinking of changing the location for the in-person location for our Saturday, November 4th awakening class. That one is, the theme is coming home to you. The August one is unleashing the hidden gems within you is the August theme. And the November one is coming home to you. And I'm thinking of, funny enough, of actually changing the location to Chicago, which is my other home. So it originally was in Charlotte. And so I'm going to keep you posted on that one. We're in talks right now for a different venue in Chicago. If you would like, our Expansive Energies group is accepting new members, and it's our self-care group where for $45 a month, we have 2 group therapeutic energy work sessions with different themes of using different energies. This month's theme is abundant living with entities, spirits, and the unseen. And we've had a great call this last week on dysregulation, disobedience, and distraction as a part of our Being a Different Possibility for Families monthly group calls. And that was just amazing. If you're interested in getting any of the replays of our previous calls, you can go to empoweringlightlanguage.com/events, and there's a image of our monthly Being a Different Possibilities for Families call. You click there, you fill out the form, click any of the topics that you want the replays for, we'll send that to you. And if you're looking to participate in any future calls, our next one is August 21st. I'm looking at the details here. August 21st, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, North America. And the topic is There's No One Size Fits All. And then September 25th, that topic is Learning Through Movement. That's also going to be from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, North America. We're going to have some live meet and greets for people who would like to talk with me and get support from the community in person. We're starting off in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had one already July 9th. Our next one is August 6th. And then the one after that is September 10th. And that is also available on our Facebook page, the event for that. So you can find out the details. That's from 2 to 3:30 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you, thank you, thank you to those of you who have been sending emails and feedback. It has been quite a tumultuous week. I have been crying so much this week, was crying this morning. And I get that this discussion is going to bring up some stuff for us. So I want to invite you to really be very gentle with yourself during this discussion, and also during this upcoming week, this weekend, the upcoming weeks, because a lot of things are shifting. A lot of things are coming up as the end of summer is here. And we may be like, no, I want more summer. I want more vacation. Or for me, what I forget and then remember again, which is part of why I was crying this morning, was I was perceiving all of the teachers and the staff and the workers and my colleagues that are about to start school years right now, that they're already preparing their classrooms, and the stress, and they're worrying about them succeeding, them being seen as educators and appreciated. What am I going to do with these students this year? How will the parents treat me and feel about it? Are they going to be on board and so we can work as a team, or are they going to be fighting me tooth and nail the whole way? I'm not sure. And so I'm perceiving the energy of so many teachers and educators that I'm connected to around the world. And as soon as I got that was what was going on, and I remembered, sometimes it takes me a moment. I remembered, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't mine. Okay, got it. It was still good to cry. It was still good to get it out, but it was good that I wasn't crying and rocking in a corner for hours. I have things to do, like talk to you today. So enough about that. The topic for today: awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. So I'm going to read the description that we have for you. What is your inner child trying to tell you? Many of us are experiencing ups and downs and all around, and we can find ourselves desiring more wonder and joy. The discoverers are a category of the elements of living, EoLs, that partner beautifully with your body and your intrinsic compass to guide you when you feel lost or are looking to awaken your sense of wonder and curiosity once again. Is that you? There are many ways discoverers can assist you in knowing yourself and being clear on what options are available to you. What if you collaborated with all the energies and elements at your disposal to have an exuberant, joyful living? Instead of judging or limiting yourself, let's go deeper into what will work for us. And I really needed to hear that and read that a couple times today. So if that resonated with you, make sure to bookmark this episode, listen to this intro again later. Yeah, I needed that. Did you need that? Raise your hand if you needed that. I can't see your hands, but I'm perceiving your hands raised. Yeah. So by familiarizing yourself with the elements of living, or EoLs, that's the acronym, you can identify where you already have the ingredients to create a phenomenal life that's worth living to you. And that's really important, because when a lot of us are questioning, do I have it? Do I have it in me? Like, I was asking myself that question when the school year is coming up and I'm contributing to schools and I'm working with families as they're transitioning into the school year and throughout the school year. I'm like, do I have it in me? Do I have it in me? Do I have the tools, the bandwidth, the energy, the attention, the health, mental, emotional, physical health to do this? And I ask that for my business. I ask that for my relationships and friendships. I ask that for how I'm interacting with family. Can I do this? Do I have it in me? And so we're going to talk about that. If there's any moments where you've been asking yourself that, we're going to get into that today and how you can have more ease and clarity with that. And then also the elements of living: awaken the slumbering elements essential for you to thrive. So going beyond survival to actual thrival, if you might have heard that term, and also for you to explore and see where you're stopping yourself, anywhere where you're stopping yourself and you're being misled by erroneous information, by, gossip, by distraction, you're being misled by what people are expecting and projecting at you. This is what our show is all about, right? Our show is all about where we can choose a different future beyond what people are projecting and expecting of us. And it doesn't mean that we're going to do something different, but we'll definitely do what's going to work for us and them versus just work for them. Okay. And so in this episode, I will discuss some of the discoverers. We're going to see how many we can get through today. I'm going to ask you to contribute your energy, your awareness, to send it very clearly to me. I'm ready to receive those messages. Send it to my body, send it to here, my mind. I'll be very clear and know that this is your contribution. So thank you ahead of time, so that we can make sure that we're talking about the ones that would contribute to you the most today. Because there's a lot of discoverers. There's a lot of each of the elements of living, the categories of the elements of living. But I would like to contribute to the ones that would give you those ahas, so that you can walk away and know, okay, I can stimulate more joy, peace, and clarity in my life right now so that I can have exuberant living. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and start sending that my way. I really, really appreciate it. And let's make sure that we have our yes and our no today. I mentioned it a little bit in our discussion last week with Lisa Stryker. If you haven't checked out that episode, amazing what she talks about with breaking our good girl contracts or good boy contracts, and to get out of people pleasing. And it's really essential to have your yes and no, to really kind of hold yourself accountable, to make sure that when you are choosing something, is this a yes for just me? Is this a yes for just these other people? Or could it be a yes for everybody involved? And what would that look like and feel like and be like? So let's start with that, just to get us really present here with our bodies, really calibrated. Hi, bodies. Hello, bodies. You're here. Maybe you got your headphones in. Maybe you're listening while you're cooking or cleaning or getting the kids to school or wherever they're going. Hi. All right. Give your bodies a hug for me. All right. Until I can do it in person. All right, and then let's ask our bodies, what's our yes today? And notice what sound, what visuals, what movement, energy, what knowing shows up that that's your yes today. Maybe a change in breath, a release of pressure or weight. All right, let all that go, shake it out. Okay. All right, now let's ask our bodies, what is our no today? Okay, and notice what movement, what sensation, sound, visuals, anything, taste. For each of us, it's different, and each day can be different. That's why it's so important to get this and ask our bodies, what's our yes and what's our no each morning. You could do it while brushing your teeth, before you even get out of bed. What's going to work for you? All right. So raise your hand if you have your yes and your no with your body today. I get some of you do, some of you don't. All right. Practice this. It takes some practice. You got to get out of your head. You got to be with your body. That's why, one, it's fun and your body loves the hugs, but two, that's part of why we give it squeezes first, to make sure we're with it and not in our heads. As soon as we're starting to analyze and overthink it, we're getting in the way of actually having the awareness of yes and no. And yes and no is just about, is this going to work for me? If it's a yes, it'll work for me in my body. If it's a no, it's not going to work for me in my body. And that's just in this moment. It can change. Another time you might be like, oh, the thing that was a no yesterday is a yes today. All right. So, gosh, the elements of living and the discoverer. So our inner child is actually one of the one of the elements of living, our inner child, falls in the influencer category. So we're actually technically today playing with two different categories. All right. So, but we're going to take our first break. And then when we come back, I'm going to talk about all the different categories, just a quick list and review of what they are. And then we're going to get into these discoverers and how we can have more ease and more clarity and gosh, more joy perhaps. Are you willing? More joy when we come back. So you're listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, with myself, Siris, on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we come back, we'll continue to talk about awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. See you soon.
Most people haven't been taught how to listen and partner with their bodies in order to create lives that include clarity, pleasure, ease, and connection. Tuning in to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and resources on how to use your awareness of bodies and energy to your advantage. Siris is a family and child coach and therapeutic energy worker who will guide you to get clear and acknowledge what's brilliant, magical, and a gift about you.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Choosing a Different Future show with Siris. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Connect with Siris through her website, empoweringlightlanguage.com, or send an email to empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo on Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And today our show topic is awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. Our show today is brought to you by Protanden's Tri-Synergizer. Take advantage of the important contribution from every Protandin supplement. You get comprehensive benefits, including support for healthy aging, optimal cellular energy, improved mental focus, and healthy longevity. It's a level of benefits you can only get from teamwork. The Protandin family of products works by activating your body's pathways to enhance its own functions. They activate the production of antioxidants, mitochondria, and sirtuins, key components for overall long-term health. The result of this triple tier approach is our most powerful solution. And so you can visit our episodes page or go to sirisrivas.lifevantage.com to check this out. I have personally been taking this product for at least 5 years now, and it's been really, really helpful for me. As soon as I don't take it, I completely feel like I don't have as much energy, and I got a lot to do. I don't know if you are somebody that has a lot to do, a lot pulling at you. And so it's been super beneficial for me to have more energy and for me to be undoing a lot of the oxidative stress that is showing up by just our exposure to pollution, to stuff in our food, to water, the things that are in our water. We're undoing that so that we can have more optimal health. And I'm up for it. Are you up for it? So before we went on break, we were discussing why we would want to know about some of these elements of living. I'm going to talk about this a little bit further. If you aren't already in our chat room, go ahead and jump into our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. I'd love to hear from you as well. So, gosh. All right, I have my notes here. So I want to actually start by reading a little something, if you wouldn't mind indulging me. I'm going to talk about I'm going to read a little bit about the beginning of our QuickBook. There is an introductory QuickBook that for our listeners, you actually get the QuickBook for free. So make sure to check that out. It's on my website. It's on the link on this episode, but I want to read the beginning pages of this QuickBook, just 1 or 2 pages. So you may wonder, what's the point of learning about the elements of living, or EoLs? Everyone knows what living entails, right? Everyone talks about their gifts with creating their lives, what choices they have available to them, and what having living their way can be like. Oh, wait, no, they don't. Instead, people talk about their struggles, obstacles, stress, and trauma. They get stuck in judgment and focus on what and who stops them from having what they would really like to have. More concentration is put on where they don't have options and where something is missing. So it's important to familiarize yourself with the different elements of living in order to A, identify where you already have the ingredients to create a phenomenal life that is worth living to you. B, awaken the slumbering elements essential for you to thrive. And C, cease anywhere where you are being misled by irrelevant and erroneous information. So we've talked about that. It's worth repeating. And so as we're going to be talking about this, I'd like for you to recognize that the elements of living are within you. Every single one of them are within you. And so the different categories, yes, we're talking about influencers as the inner child. That's one example of the influencers. There's many more. And the discoverers today. There's also distractors, door openers, outlaws, powers, the worlds, the celebrants, and the destroyers. There are 9 categories. There are 9 categories of the elements of living, at least so far, that has been discovered. And where did these come from? You might be wondering. Well, the elements of living came to me through my work with the living and dying body process. The living and dying body process is the body process that people learn to give and receive, play with in the awakening classes. And the other thing that happens with this body process, it is so gentle that a lot of people think that you letting go of things has to be something that's really hard, that is an upheaval in your world. You have to detox and all of these different things. No, what if you could just go whoosh? That's what one of the people that went to our last class in June were like, oh my gosh, this is so gentle and so easy to play with. I thought it was going to be really complicated and hard. And I was like, no, that's a thing. All the things around us is very complicated and sometimes hard and difficult, but the way that we navigate them can be way easier, and it can be way gentler and sweeter. That's part of what we're going to be talking about, and we have been talking about in the Limitless Azúcar series of episodes with my mom, Zulma Verdejo Carrion. It's about inviting that sweetness more into your life, that there is more available than we often acknowledge. So the elements of living, they came with the living and dying body process. So as I was running this body process on my clients, on myself, on family, people would talk about how they were perceiving different things. And I started to ask more questions, have these conversations, and these mega downloads were coming in. And next thing you know, all these different categories were coming in. The last one being the destroyers that came in. I think that was my own personal resistance to like being aware of them initially. And then I was like, oh no, I actually need to be aware of them. We're going to have another episode on just the destroyers, because it's about where you want to destroy limitation and judgment and the things that are in your way. So if you're not willing to be those energies of a destroyer, you can't destroy, eradicate, and eliminate some of those obstacles in your way. And I was like, oh, I guess I need to be more willing to eliminate those obstacles instead of focusing on the obstacles. So with the discoverers, this particular category is about uncovering lies, the treasures, the gifts, your capacities, the seen and the unseen, the hidden. And discoverers, they shine a light on what has been in the dark. I'm going to say that one more time. The discoverers shine a light in what has been hidden in the dark. So what area of your life has been hidden in the dark? Maybe you shoved it in the dark. Maybe you've been trying to find it in the dark. What is that for you? they are also great companions. So the discoverers, yes, all these elements are within us and they're around us because other people, other things, other objects and spaces have these energies in them as well. So how your discover elements play is going to be different than how someone else's discoverers show up and play too. They're great companions. So if somebody that you know is a really big discoverer, that they have a high capacity with this element of living, this category of element of living, they are great travel companions. They're the ones that want to ask questions like, what other adventures can we go on? And what else could we explore? And who else can we meet? And what's the next food do we want to try? And they're asking these questions, seeking that out. All right. And they also are really great for you to have companionship with them when you're realizing and figuring out things about yourself. So let's look at some of these discoverers, shall we? Okay. The first one I'd like to share with y'all is the star seed or star. I use it interchangeably, depending on the context. So when you're willing to be aware of these elements of living, you're discovering yourself. Think about the pirates, the pirates or the sailors now and long ago, and how they would be accompanied by the stars in the sky. Hello, stars. Hello, star seeds. And one of the things that they would do, and they started to realize, is that what made the stars is also within them. And what's within them is in the stars. So there's actually no separation. And what I love, love, love about this element is it's very effective for people who feel like they don't have a purpose, that they're not really sure why they're here. It's like kind of like, why bother? Life is kind of meh or blah right now. If you've ever feel that way, I mean, just in preparation for this call today, I woke up and I was like, ugh, a lot of moments this week. I was like, whoa, what is this? And I was like, oh, what am I going to be talking about on this Friday's episode? Oh yeah, awakening your sense of curiosity and wonder again. If you have it shut down or asleep, blocked, there's 4 things that can happen with any of the elements of living. Either you can have it activated and alert, number 1. 2, it could be hidden or buried. 3, it can be asleep. Or 4, it could be blocked. And no matter which way it is, you can move it from whatever status it is to more awakened and alert. And even if it's already alert and awakened, you can have it more. And we all have those moments where there's these invitations to awaken it even more. And even for me, who is the creator of the living and dying body process with the earth, with my body and these bodies around the world, I was like, oh gosh, I still would love to have more awakening because it's about expansion. It's about creating more. So I love calling upon the starseed energy when I get a yes to co-create with them, to co-create with the starseed energy. So is it a yes for you? That's why we did the yes and no's at the beginning today. And I suspect we might want to do that more and more in our episodes. What do you think? If you think that we should do that more, go ahead and tell me yes to that. And if you get a yes to play with the starseed energy today, yeah, okay, let's do it. If you have somebody that is shut down, that's feeling blah, that's depressed or sad, even anxious, I love using this energy around them. And maybe you already have without knowing this framework. Maybe when people are saying, hey, I feel so much better after I've been around you, were you being that starseed energy around them? Is that a yes or a no for you and your body? Okay, acknowledge that. Give yourself credit. Not only out of like to boost your confidence, even though I absolutely would love for you to have more confidence, but also so that you can receive more from that gift that you have, All right, so starseed. One more thing about the starseed. The other piece with it is it's a recognition that this energy is within you and in your life. So the more you are this energy of discovery, of falling in love with yourself again. Like if you're like, I don't even know why someone would be dating me right now. Like, what do I have to offer? What do I have to offer to this company as I'm applying for this job? What do I have to offer to this, this space if I'm taking a class? And like, why would I want to be there? Why would they want me to be there? If you say hi, starseed, to yourself, look in the mirror. Look, you can use your phone. I use my phone as a mirror sometimes. I'm like, oh, hi, when I'm putting on my, my lip gloss and things like that. If you say hi, starseed, that's a great way to start acknowledging that you are a starseed and to receive more of this energy and awaken more of it within you. Okay, it's time for our next break, beautiful people. When we come back, we're going to continue to talk about awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. You are listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, with myself, Siris, on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Most people haven't been taught how to listen and partner with their bodies in order to create lives that include clarity, pleasure, ease, and connection. Tuning in to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and resources on how to use your awareness of bodies and energy to your advantage. Siris is a family and child coach and therapeutic energy worker who will guide you to get clear and acknowledge what's brilliant, magical, and a gift about you.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Choosing a Different Future show with Siris. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Connect with Siris through her website, empoweringlightlanguage.com, or send an email to empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo on Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And today our show topic is awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. Our show is brought to you by Protanden's Tri-Synergizer. Take advantage of the important contribution from every Protandan supplement. You can get comprehensive benefits, including support for healthy aging, optimal cellular energy, improved mental focus, and healthy longevity. And like I mentioned before, I have been taking this product for over 5 years myself. It's been part of why I have so much more energy, in addition to being aware of energy and using it to my advantage. And my inner knowing led me to say yes to this product, and I have never regretted it ever since. So go ahead and check out the episode page for more information, or go to sirisrivas.lifevantage.com. Before we went on break, we were talking about the star seed and how we can use that in different ways to have more joy and ease. And how it can connect with the inner child is that the star seed, think about that. When we were children, we were constantly wondering, what else can I do? Who else can I meet? What else am I going to learn? We were very curious. And so the discoverer of the star seed plays into how we can influence ourselves with our inner child. Our inner child is often asking for more adventure, more exploration, more connection. Are we willing to listen to it? Or are we going to keep being like, nope, don't hear you. I'm going to go and do adulting now. And be really, really serious. Yeah. Like, I don't know about you, like adulting kind of sucks sometimes. And so, but what if you can have more fun with all of those responsibilities and also having some new experiences, some things that kind of make it easier for you to be like, all right, yeah, it's worthwhile for me to be doing this thing out here on this planet, this beautiful planet that we're on. The other thing too is that if there were moments where you as a child was told that you weren't good enough, that created some self-esteem issues, maybe there was gaslighting or verbal, mental, emotional, sexual, physical, whatever type of abuse. that can create a lot of insecurities. It can create codependence. We've talked a lot on our episodes about codependence. Well, the starseed energy is a great antidote to that codependence, to that people pleasing, to making everyone else's needs more important and valuable than your own. If you actually say, hey, wow, I am a starseed. I am bringing light and magic to this world. I am illuminating things for other people by me just being here. I don't even have to say anything. And then when I do say something, especially when I'm using and connecting it with my inner knowing, wow, I open up doorways with this. So I would not give myself credit for that and value myself, respect myself for what reason exactly? Okay. Not so sure that's your best choice. I definitely would love to see more star seeds actually acknowledge that they're star seeds. So if you're a star seed out there, raise your hand, own it. Be like, rub that apple. I'm a star seed, rock it. Okay. Another one, another element of living under the category of discoverers that I get a yes for to talk about. Let's see if this is a yes for you as well. Is the widow or widower. There's been so many people messaging me about how they are having either on their way to a funeral, coming back from a funeral, preparing as someone is in the hospital right now for someone's passing. I know we did that call on honoring those who have passed at the end of last year. Was it the end of last year? Gosh, I think it was in November. And I was getting the ping to maybe do another call like that. Until then, let's acknowledge anywhere that we are widowers or widows. And this discover is for us to discover what we would truly desire to have after a loss of any kind. A person, if someone has transitioned, a job, a relationship, this makes breakups way easier. There is actually a book I wrote, and it's on my library at empoweringlightlanguage.com/library called Joyful Breakups, like how to have joyful breakups or something like that. But the key word in there is joyful breakups. And it might seem like an oxymoron to you, and yet it's absolutely possible. There can be more ease in breakups, in these transitions than we've considered. And the widow and widower element of living can be a part of that as well. So if you are experiencing a loss or have experienced a loss, and you still have some of those residual energies, those considerations that are in your body, in your reality, go ahead and acknowledge that first. If it's a yes for you, yes, this is something that's true for me. And then if it's a no, it's something that's not true for you. And if it's not true for you, please don't make it relevant or true for you. You're already an antenna. You're already super aware. You don't need to take on anything from anybody else that is not relevant to you. Please, my friends. Okay. But for those that are married to their jobs and all of a sudden they lose their jobs, their relationship is everything. They've cut themselves off from friends and family to be in this relationship, and now that relationship no longer exists. Or even if you haven't separated and cut off all these other things, but you are grieving something, someone, then this is here for you. And the widower, part of what it does is it allows you to be like, hey, I don't have to avoid this. This is a change. This is a change, absolutely. And where am I in this now? Who am I in this? And what would I like to have and create moving forward after this? After this. It goes on if you'd like. Life and living can go on after these transitions, these losses. And it may seem harder. And my role in your life, if you're listening to this episode, is to make things that seem impossible, seem harder, seem insurmountable, a little bit easier, if not a lot easier if you're willing. So, hi, widows and widowers. If you got a yes for this, go ahead and say in the mirror, I am a widow. I'm a widower right now. I have this energy here. And then with that, you're not saying that it's an identity in the sense of like, you will always be feeling the sense of loss in the same way. No, you're just acknowledging what is right now. If this is something that is right now for you, go ahead and acknowledge that. this morning I woke up and Justin and I were talking. We were both like, something's off. Something's happening today. What's going on? There's some funky in the air. And within, gosh, like 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes of us acknowledging, again, we're aware of something. There is something shifting here. That is really powerful. Acknowledgement is very, very powerful. He got a text from a family member saying that their cancer may be coming back, that their cells are changing. And as weird as it may sound, it actually created so much more space in our worlds because we weren't like waiting for the shoe to drop. We were like, oh, that's what we were aware of. Okay, now what are we going to do? Now what would we like to do and have beyond this, after this? And one of the first things that I got was, I guess we're going to schedule another visit to see this family member. I guess we're going to give them a lot of love and hugs and check in more often during this time. We're going to keep on enjoying them as long as we can, as long as they're on this planet. And that was already the case before. You know, Justin and I are very grateful people. And it was just another invitation to that, you know? Now, what does that have to do with the widow and widower? Well, with the widow and widower, if we weren't willing to be that energy, our inner child, because I was crying this morning. Remember, I was like, what am I grieving already? It's like I was already aware of Justin's possible response, how that would ripple out throughout his whole family, what if he does choose to not be here on the planet anymore, you know, all that happened. We just came from a funeral for his family. We just had funerals from my family. Like, it's just been one after the other in this year. It hasn't really stopped since 2020. It's been ongoing. And yet, if I didn't embrace and continue to have this widow and widower energy, I would have such even harder of a time with it. And don't get me wrong, it has been freaking brutal sometimes. I'm not going to lie. And yet, every 1% about a space that I can create, a little bit of breathing room that I can create, I welcome it. Because it stacks on each other day by day. Next thing you know, that little wedge, it starts off really thin, becomes wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. And then there we are with that expansion, with more space, with more ease, with whatever's going on. Because life isn't going to stop lifing, as Justin says, life be lifing. And I was like, yep, life be lifing a lot lately, for sure. Okay, another element of living under the category of, actually, you know what, before I go to the next one, I want to mention too, with widow or widower, if there was any losses that you had as a child, it may be locked in and influencing you in your inner child. So is your inner child, when you have a loss, is it just a standalone loss, or is it reminding you of all the other times where you've had a loss, all the other times you've had these transitions in your life, these upheavals, these changes, that it wasn't as easy? Maybe your parents weren't as regulated as they were supporting you through those changes. Maybe they didn't really support you at all, and you were left to your own devices, and you were trying to calm yourself and soothe yourself through these changes on your own. Whatever way that it showed up, is your inner child speaking to you about that as another possible loss happens. If you're dealing with a divorce or separation, I've had a couple messages from y'all about that in the last week, actually last couple weeks. If you are about to go into a new job, or you're letting go of a job. One of my parents yesterday told me that she was terminated from a job. She has her last month there to go. Is that bringing up then these other moments for you? And that's where this widower and the inner child are talking to each other. Let them have those conversations, acknowledge what is there for you with it, and then choose accordingly. Choose something that is congruent with what you would truly desire to have after this, beyond this. Okay? And start planting those seeds. That gets into the star seed. The star seed plants those seeds in the garden, so that the garden of your life, so that you can start having a different possibility show up. And it takes watering and nurturing and consistency and care, right? That's where the self-care is, what we talk about in our expansive energies group and nurture in our expansive energies group. That consistent, regulated, predictable care. A lot of us need that right now. Okay. All right. Do we have time? Let's go ahead and take our next break, and then we're going to talk about another one. All right, guys. Right, y'all? I know it's not all guys out there. Somebody commented, why are you always saying y'all? I love hearing y'all. You're not even from the South. I was like, not originally, but I have a lot of transgender friends and non-binary friends. So I was already using y'all when I lived in Chicago because it was very inclusive. It wasn't you guys or you gals. It was y'all. It could be anybody. And the person said, oh, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that now. That's a really cool tip. It's a small thing that can allow people to feel acknowledged, seen, and heard. So it's time for our next break. You are listening to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, with myself, Siris, on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we will continue to discuss awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. We'll be right back.
Most people haven't been taught how to listen and partner with their bodies in order to create lives that include clarity, pleasure, ease, and connection. Tuning in to Choosing a Different Future with Siris, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and resources on how to use your awareness of bodies and energy to your advantage. Siris is a family and child coach and therapeutic energy worker who will guide you to get clear and acknowledge what's brilliant, magical, and a gift about you. This is the Choosing a Different Future show with Siris. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Connect with Siris through her website, empoweringlightlanguage.com, or send an email to empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Siris Raquel Rivas-Verdejo on Choosing a Different Future with Siris. And today our show topic has been awakening your inner child's curiosity and wonder with the discoverers. So before we went on break, we were talking about the widower and about the starseed and how we can use them to invite us some more curiosity, wonder, and gosh, what about some ease? What about some more joy? My goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. Well, the other one, I want to talk about at least one more of the elements of living. Like I mentioned, there's tons of them. And for our listeners, you can get a copy of the QuickBook for free by going to empoweringlightlanguage.com and also to this episode's page so that you can get a copy of the QuickBook and have this ready reference that talks a little bit about each of the elements of living, all of those 9 categories, more than we can cover today. And then have that and come with some questions and let me know which of the ones you'd like me to talk more about. So another element of living that is in the category of the discoverers is the beacon of truth. The beacon of truth. Who would like to make sure that nobody can lie to them? Raise your hand. Very few times, especially if I'm connected with my body and I'm regulated, can anyone lie to me without me knowing it? Now, if I'm dysregulated, if I'm feeling sick, if I'm exhausted, people can lie to you and you just don't even see it. It's like white noise. It just kind of passes, like, sure, whatever. Like, okay, I'll accept whatever you say. It's more likely for you to just accept whatever's sent to you instead of asking more questions and being like, is that true? When someone says it, if you're not totally here and present with your bodies. It doesn't have to be 100%, but if you can have that more times than not, it goes a long way for you to not be at the effect of other people's lies and for you not to be blind to those lies, including the lies that you are telling yourself. So, one example for me, like I realized that I was a beacon of truth when I had a friend that I was working with. It was a colleague in one of the schools that I was working with, and we used to hang out. We used to go grab drinks. We used to go grab some burgers. We would go and hang out by the beach. And over time, she wouldn't want to hang out as much. And I recognized it was after she told me that she was cheating on her boyfriend. And I was like, he's so good to you. Like, why would you treat him that way? And she was talking about how she wanted to have a different kind of sex and she wanted different adventures, and he wasn't really up for that. And I was like, well, have you talked to him about the things you'd like? And instead of having those conversations, she would just seek it out from other people. She was avoiding what she perceived would be a really uncomfortable conversation. I also realized now that she was doing a bit of thrill seeking. That being said, my very presence made her uncomfortable because it was a reminder to her of how she was lying to her boyfriend, who was this amazing guy who just absolutely cherished and adored her. And she didn't want that reminder. So she stopped calling me back. She stopped wanting to hang out. And I'll be honest, I really was hurt. I was really judging myself. I was like, what did I do wrong? Maybe I shouldn't be so candid and so upfront with my friends. And I was like, I wasn't even saying anything. She asked me what I thought. I was like, I wouldn't do that to somebody that I cared about, but that's your call, your choice. And because I didn't sign off on it, she didn't really want me around. And so anywhere that you are aware of people's lies like that, and you're judging yourself because you're like, I'm aware, instead of wanting to block off your awareness, which is very tempting. I was like, maybe I should stop being so aware of where people are lying, because she revealed it to me because I was like, something's different. What's going on with you and so and so? And because I was aware that there was a lie present and I asked the question, that's where the confession came about and the shift in our relationship. Now I know I don't always have to ask them. I can just be aware of, oh, there's something here. Let's see what it is and let it show up. I know now who I can ask those types of questions to and who are not really ready and open to that yet. This is all part of becoming and acknowledging yourself as a beacon of truth. So truth, are you a beacon of truth? Is that a yes or a no for you? What does your body tell you? Is it a yes or a no? And are you willing to awaken that even more? Go ahead and look yourself in a mirror. Go ahead and say, I am a beacon of truth. So you can have more of that with yourself, more of that with your body and in all these areas of your life, so that if someone lies to you, or if you're trying to lie to yourself to avoid something that's going to expand your world, that's going to help you grow, that's going to move you to this new chapter of more consistent with the things you're asking for, you will know very, very clearly. And they're like, oh, well, that's kind of cute that I try to do that. All right, maybe I'm going to do something different now. Maybe I'll try something else. Yeah. All right. I hope you've really enjoyed this discussion of the elements of living, particularly the discoverers today and our inner child, which is part of the influencers. If you'd like more information on the elements of living, you can go to empoweringlightlanguage.com/elements of living. Definitely grab a copy of the free quick book on the elements of living that's called which element of living would like to create with me today. So you can ask that, because you can create with any of them at any time. They're all part of your arsenal. Let's wake them up. Let's get them from asleep to awake, from buried and hidden to alert, from blocked to unblocked. All right. And next week, we're going to have my mom, Sulma Verdejo Carrion, on our 4th installment of the Limitless Azúcar series, where we're going to be talking again about raising children with unique needs. It's going to be awesome. We're actually going to reminisce a bit about some of our really hilarious family moments as we were learning lessons, learning about the differences between me and my siblings, and also our work together and individually with kids in the educational system. So hopefully you can join us for that. It's going to be a great one. I'm excited that we'll finally get to have that one, since that one also had to be rescheduled. And send in any questions that you have to us at empoweringlightlanguage@gmail.com so that we can address any of those if you'd like some more tips from 2 educators who have worked with kids with unique needs for decades. All right. Any other questions, anybody? Any other things that you would like me to contribute to you for? Go ahead and email us about ideas as well. Some of you have been sending me your input, your feedback. If you like this episode, go ahead and share it with a loved one, with someone that you get would benefit from this information. And I am open to your ideas. I'm open to your feedback on what are the next episodes that we'd like for August and for September. We already have some scheduled, and we're going to add on some great guests. Until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Choosing a Different Future show. Siris returns Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Mountain, and 7 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, keep choosing what will work for you and your body, your own unique way honoring what will work for you.